Why do I feel like I don't have enough time, even though I have more time than most people in human history? Maybe you feel the same way. Something is there, with no shape, that only makes my time just go away. If only there was a word that describes something useless, amorphous, waste time may even be harmful, but you consume nonetheless. There is a word. It's a word that's all the rage on the surface world. Slop. Amorphous, yet sticky. Slop is all the rage nowadays, whether you consume it, hate it, or both. You know of it. It's something wronging both you and me from the inside out. You might be familiar with another word, AI, something which seems to be the origin of slop, but is it really? If in a healthy world where nothing already rotten exists, would the introduction of AI make slop out of nothing? Maybe, but I think AI was placed into a world already ready for it. So come with me on this journey into the sludge and the sickness. Let's get into the deep of this slop. What do I mean when I say slop? Well, I have a wider definition than others. I have consumed slop since I was a wee lad. When I was a boy, I spent hours watching television. Crappy Cartoon Network shows I don't even remember. Long past Cartoon Network's golden age, they were cartoon slop. What made them slop was not the quality, but my state of mind. I was slack-jawed and drooling. Not really drooling, but spiritually. Spiritually drooling. Slop is content that exists to be consumed but not focused on. I compare it to junk food. You eat it, makes you fat, but doesn't make you feel full. Like junk food, slop is meant to be consumed but not fill you up. Let's take a video game for example. I play, say, Dark Souls until I'm satisfied, normally after defeating a boss. This is a video game that is delicious and filling, as opposed to a predatory freemium game like Fortnite, which is designed from the ground up to never make you satisfied. You always want more. I'm not saying that Fortnite is slop. I'm saying that your reaction to it is similar. You are never satisfied and play it forever. This is how I think of slop. It's anti-content that never makes you content. Another aspect of slop is that it's not notable. I don't remember the cartoons I watched as a tween. I watched them every day when I came back from school, but I can't name them. I do remember some. Adventure Time is one that I remember because it has great surrealist content. Johnny Test, on the other hand, is a great example of absolute cartoon slop. I used to watch it all the time, but I can't remember a single thing about it. I vaguely remember that I hated it, but I can't really recall why I hated it or what it was. All I remember is that I watched it. That's another thing about slop. It is amorphous. It looks like nothing and is not notable. A rather despicable aspect of slop is its unoriginality. A genre like the slasher is a great example. Halloween is a classic movie that was actually pretty original at one time. Then it got popular, so producers copied it. Some movies that came out of that craze were great, like Nightmare on Elm Street, but others, like all its sequels, were less good. These horror movies got more exploitative with more gruesome murder and more dismembered women. Slop is derivative, and often can be completely uncreative, while exploiting some strange elements. There's a problem with being the exact same as everyone else, though. You don't attract attention. This might explain why somebody said, "Let's put Jason in space! Everybody would love that! Oh, then let's have him fight Freddy." The movies got worse, with more dismembered women, dismembered in more insane ways. It was the talk of the town back then. It was offensive to sensibilities. Nobody talks about those sequels nowadays, though. They only talk about the first ones. Slop is viral and often bizarre, but never remembered, though you can't get too creative. Somebody might think about you and wonder why they're even watching you. If one were to ask why they're watching, say, the original American Psycho, they could talk about the interesting commentary and the direction. If they're talking about the sequel, the best they could say is, I don't know, something. But you don't stop watching it. This is an interesting balance, isn't it? If you're too boring, nobody gets interested and starts watching something else. But if you're too notable, people start thinking. Slop is not entertaining, but also not boring. This is my definition. and I treat it like a psychological diagnosis, where it doesn't have to have every sign, just most of them. The internet is filled with great content. That's well thought out and researched, but it's also bursting with slop. This slop content comes from these content farms that profit from the production of slop. Let's start from the beginning. Babies. Videos for babies. There was a time when bizarre and disturbing videos for children started to pop up. This was dubbed Elsagate. Where these videos come from or who made them is not important for this video. What is important is what these videos are. Check out Floating Ideas' video on the topic for more info. They have long names with a bunch of keywords that would be picked up by the algorithm and sent to these kids, where they would sit slack-jawed and watch Spider-Man get Elsa pregnant or whatever. I did not do the research, but it would not surprise me if children were more susceptible to slop than older people. It wouldn't surprise me if children introduced to slop became teens and adults, more susceptible to slop. You see, teens and adults have their own slop and their own content farms. Whether it be weird Sigma male stuff where they talk about what the types of men are, or videos that recap movies, there is no end to the weird stuff that teens then, and now adults, watch. It was bad back then. Shit, even. And then the worst technology ever made was given out to the public. Generative AI. It creates the most boring content you've ever seen so fast you can't believe it. You ask it a simple question and it gives terrible answers at speeds you won't believe. You might think, wait, I can just use Wikipedia or Google, or give an artist some money, or buy a book, paying these starving people for once in their lives. Yes, you can. Anyway, AI made the internet slop epidemic so much worse. We went from terrible CGI or live action Elsa to crying kitties. We went from a couple thousand Elsas to millions and millions of AI slop videos of crying kitties. It is so bad nowadays, I don't even know what's real anymore. That's not even to get into the more bizarre fetishy content and the fact that it's being used for sexual harassment. AI videos appeal to the lowest common denominator. They either don't offend or are so offensive to sensibilities, they just have to retweet. Look at what that politician just said. But to be clear, these videos are offensive to me. They look disgusting, they steal people's work without compensation, they destroy our planet, and they do it all for results that are underwhelming at best. Suna is spamming music to Spotify, and Sora was spamming videos to YouTube and TikTok at speeds unimaginable. All while I'm losing my mind, wondering who watches this. Some of these videos make numbers. Why? Is it bots? I don't understand. Something I always wonder is why somebody would watch something that nobody put effort into. This jellyfish avatar took a couple of hours to make. I showed up and used my skills and knowledge to make this. This script is made after years of writing. So AI confuses me. I kind of get why someone would use AI because they are lazy and don't respect artists. But watching AI is different. You're spending your finite time on this earth watching something nobody put effort into. But my problem with AI slop goes a bit deeper and requires some explanation. Today I'll start by stealing a metaphor from an old YouTuber. Imagine a cake by a baker, a good baker, a baker who spent his life on his craft and made a good cake. Now imagine the Twinkie. Absolute food slop. You want the cake by the baker, right? That's the metaphor. But I want to add something. You actively consume one and you passively consume the other. This idea is important. Active versus passive consuming. This is basically the distinction between watching something with your brain turned on or off. Active means you think about what you are consuming, while passive, you don't. When you are actively consuming, you think about what's happening, what it means, and how it affects you. You see that beautiful dessert, and think, why? That looks delicious. It's a cake. Well crafted and fresh. Probably not good for me, but oh, it's going to be so delicious. You take a bite. Oh, so good. That vanilla flavor really mixes with the chocolate frosting so well. It's a little sweet though. Compare this to passive consuming. Oh, it's a cake. You take a bite, and that's it. Importantly, when you eat cake passively, you also don't keep track of how much you eat. Like how you watch crappy shows constantly while not present. I believe this is bad for you. Not only are you more focused when actively consuming, you also have a better experience. So when watching, say, a popular anime about an elf who's going on an adventure, you might say something like, oh, this is a story about not seeing people or life for what they are worth. Or if you're passively consuming, you might say, this show, slow and boring. Passively watching can be fine. It can be comforting for your mind. But actively watching is better because you gain information and, in my experience, have a better time watching. My problem with slop stems from this distinction of active versus passive consumption. If you consume it actively, it's boring. It means nothing and gives you nothing. But if you consume it passively, you can't stop. It's non-stop and keeps your mind in the state of being nothing. You're not thinking, you're not understanding, you are just consuming. Slop is boring. It is not notable. It doesn't try new things. Active consumption is the death of slop. If everyone just thought about what they were seeing, they would ignore slop because it tells them nothing, enriches nothing, is nothing. But slop is nefarious and tricky. It makes you consume it passively, as it is the only way to consume it. When I watched Johnny Test as a child, I would only watch it when I had nothing else to do or was utterly tired. This would put me in the slop mindset, as I was not thinking clearly. This is how slop gets you. If you are tired or bored, it's there for you to look at, but not consume. This mindset for me hasn't gone away though. My slop consumption has become a habit. So now, even when I'm not tired or bored, I consume slop. I could be doing something more productive, but when I see slop, I return to the slop mindset. All of that would be fine though, if it was only me. But I don't think it is. Other kids are getting my childhood slop experience, but worse. As now we have internet AI slop, ready to consume at a moment's notice. This is my worry with the slop. It's entertainment that is meant to pacify you. You get nothing from it, and it teaches you nothing. You watch Slackjawed, and for what? Are you entertained? No. This is my problem with this stupid content. It's nothing. That stupid Johnny Test show was at least made by humans who wasted their talents to make a terrible show. But what does a random fake kitten have? It's not even made by people. It has no value. The problem is the same with using ChatGPT to make an essay for you. You don't think about what you are making. If you've never written a story before, I suggest you do. It takes your whole brain and is good for you. But when you make a story with ChatGPT, you don't think about it. It just happens. And everything is flat. Nothing works. And if people only read AI-produced writing, they will never actively read again. At least I believe that. What will happen to the children who grew up with this nonsense? Will they have the want to struggle through? Or will they get ChatGPT to create a terrible essay and learn nothing? That's another thing. People won't learn how to make stuff. They'll just do nothing. Nobody has time, everybody is tired, yet they continue to watch, read, and listen to slop. Time is money, so of course people want yours, and will take it at whatever cost. I suppose my plea is to spend your time well, and don't get scammed. I view slop as a scam. It's a time waster, often for monetary gain. People are tired from overwork these days, so after a long day, people don't want to do things that they love. They just want to rest. But I like to remember that you always regret the things that you don't do. Slop takes up time and makes you want to waste more. It's bad for you. It just is. It went from being made by people wasting their talents to being made by nobody. Why would I waste my precious limited time on this earth on something nobody wants to make in the first place. I guess my biggest problem with slop is the waste. So don't watch this shit. It's bad for you. Watch a good show that you love. They're being made and released right now. Write an essay. Work on your skills. Do anything but watch slop. Your life matters and is worth more than this slop. You have limited time, so watch things that people put effort into. Watch something you've never watched before. Watch something that requires effort to understand. And if you can pay artists, we will appreciate it more than you can imagine. What I want to leave you with is the idea that you matter. Your time is precious, so don't waste it anymore. Do something that fills you with joy and makes you feel like it wasn't a waste of time. And yeah, that was my first video. Hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy my voice and my writing? Do you want to hear more? As mentioned, this is my first video, so you can't. But if you share this with your friends, and they share it with their friends, I might get picked up by the algorithm and get a reason to make another one of these silly things. Did I mention I have a comic that I'm quite proud of? It's called Many Tales of a Fox. It's on Webtoon and Tapas. Hope you enjoy it, and goodbye.